It's all about truth. All of it. Every single thing. All boils down to the truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free. All right, welcome to the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. We have some breaking news coming in right now from the Universal Ostrich Farm in Edgewood, BC. Give me a second here as I just set up my stream to show you exactly what I'm looking at here. Bear with me as I get this set up, but we have good news coming in from Universal Ostrich Farms. Let me go ahead and bring that to you right now. This is a live stream that I'm going live on to show you that a stay order has been granted by the Supreme Court. Let's listen here for a minute. Let me just make sure we're going.
Yeah.
So this is Esper, the son of Karen. How do you feel right now?
Like we can actually get a breath of fresh air for once.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling.
Right? This is the family, and man, our hearts go out to you guys, man. Like,
This is a big day.
Yeah, and your little baby, look at.
Okay, I do believe we are live.
So he can celebrate with us. We told him he was excited. He was really excited. He's like, get me the fuck home so I can celebrate with.
Okay, so just to bring you this update right now, there was a lot of stuff going on that I was about to go live to update you about. The fact that a First Nations band has just involved themselves, declaring the area as unceded territory, and that these birds are not to be touched. We have footage of Katie
As of last night.
issuing this to the RCMP. And then, of course, there was a situation with Katie and her mom being arrested. They were since obviously let go. Here you could see they were arrested on camera, mid-interview. And then the RCMP yesterday set up a hay bale wall, presumably to, execute these ostriches from the inside of this area where they would have penned them in there and been able to shoot down at them. But then late last night at around 4 o'clock in the morning, the hay barrels were lit on fire. We don't know by who, but that was all kind of breaking. I also wanted to show you this. This is Paul McKinnon, the official account of the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. He's the president. He has his account locked. Posts are protected because I think people have been hammering him with this, and you'll notice he's got him in his in his description. A little bit ridiculous. There were a lot of people calling on, why is Pierre Poilievre being silent on the ostrich situation, and I wanted to kind of mention like who cares? Like we got to stop looking to politicians like this to solve the problems for us. And this guy's, well known for just, running to the rescue after the fact. So now that the stay order has been issued, I'm sure he's going to be like, yay, we did it, everyone. We did it together. This is a live stream from Universal Ostrich Farms itself. They've been live streaming here for 19 hours straight. And as I said, the new news has just come in. Let's listen to Dave being interviewed now.
And they would use this place as the precedence for doing that.
And again, just a quick update. They had a stay order in place, and it was kind of up to the Supreme Court of Canada to decide on whether or not they're going to have more time to decide if this is the right thing to do or not. Obviously, this is not the right thing to do, to call nearly 400 healthy birds is absolutely insane. So it appears that the Supreme Court has sided with the farm and is issuing them a stay order, which means they've bought a little bit more time. I believe they have until sometime in October now.
You don't know, or no, it's not going to happen?
Let's listen to this live.
Know. They still have authority over the property. We've been kicked off. and they have authority over the property right now. So maybe they won't let us back on through the stay order. So
Thank you, Dave. Thank
we
you.
have to wait and see.
Yes, Dave.
So again, that was Dave.
That was one of the owners, Dave, and we're just gonna go see. Jim is going to be. He's setting up his drone right now because he wants to see if they're starting to move out or dismantle their whatever the hell they did.
Congratulations.
Oh,
You did a
right,
good job.
right.
You did a good job.
You did a good job. We all
Everybody
did a good
It's
job.
awesome.
And the people at home, imagine all those prayers just like ruptured, made the earth like move and shake.
Well, one prayer this morning off of Jeff. 2
Yeah.
minutes later, the phone rings.
Yeah, right?
There you go.
Yeah, that was pretty incredible. So Jim's about to get his drone up to see if we can see them doing anything, like dismantling,
They
getting
won't
ready
yet.
to go home. Well, somebody said they could see like the fence or something over there.
Well,
so-
you can see it from the road up there. I drove up there. this
Right.
morning.
Guys, if you
can see
could
it.
But did you go
also share this stream for me. I'm just trying to get this link going out right now.
There's still cars down there.
I believe we have it going here. Let me just double check on that.
Anyway, and then they'll start dismantling.
Yeah, looks like we're good.
So we'll go from there and see what happens.
So yeah, guys, please share this stream.
right?
We have excellent news coming from the farm. As you can see, people are celebrating right now.
Are you
Night
filming?
shift, eh?
Yeah,
Um,
it was. Yeah. Are you doing a live?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which side? This side?
And
or
we're
your
just
side?
tuning in live
No,
to
you.
their
Oh,
live
me.
stream right now because,
Yeah,
So-
as I said, I wanted to update you about some of the latest news. It seemed like today was going to be the day. It really felt like they were going to clamp down on these guys. They were setting it all up. As I said, you can see here, they have the hay barrel wall ready to kind of pen all the ostriches inside this massive square of hay barrels that they set up to keep them in there. Not only to be able to fire down at the birds, because they can't shoot sideways, there's people everywhere, they'd have to shoot down at them, but also to keep the public from being able to witness this and to be able to film it. Because the last thing the Canadian Food and Inspection Agency wants right now is a major PR issue on their hands with the slaughtering of these healthy birds going out live to the airwaves. So they set up this hay barrel. As I said last night, around 4 o'clock in the morning, the hay barrels were set on fire. We have no idea who did that at this point. It makes zero sense that any protesters or anybody involved with the farm would do this. It makes more sense that the RCMP might do something like that to try to paint the protesters in a negative light. But at any rate, we don't know who did this at this point in time. But regardless, as of right now, a stay order has been issued, which means they have managed to buy a little bit more time. Again, if you're not familiar with this story, guys, I'd suggest you go check out my deep dive. It's currently pinned on my Twitter account. If you go to x.com/DanDicksPFT, right here, and you will see it is the top post that is pinned. This really plays like a documentary film. It's like an hour and a half long. I went there. I interviewed, virology experts. I interviewed protesters who were there at the farm. I interviewed some of the more kind of vocal critics of what this farm is engaging in here. Speaking of whom, recently I posted a picture, like you can see here, a unreleased photo of myself and Katie, and some people have been chiming in, like Christine here, saying it'd be a lot easier if these farmers stopped lying about this non-existent bird flu, miraculous antibodies, and demanding more of the fraudulent and impossible to validate tests that are used as a premise for fake cases, fear, call labs, etc. They're setting a horrible example of, cooperating with the RCMP and CFIA thugs and fraudsters and failing to point out the truth about virology and the official no evidence legal confessions that already exist. And I had to say, yeah, we get all that, but holy hell, have a heart already. And what that is dealing with is the fact that the research that has been going on with these birds is all about figuring out what kind of antibodies they may allegedly be able to gain from their eggs in order to conduct research against, stopping COVID. And this is something that I exposed here in my deep dive, doing interviews with Dr. Andrew Kaufman, suggesting that, just kind of perpetuating the government narrative, essentially, that COVID is something you have to be afraid of. And, it's important to point out that, as I pointed out in that documentary, that one of the areas where this farm unfortunately went wrong in this whole situation, and basically how the whole thing kicked off, is that after doing what they wanted to do as a private entity, they had a number of birds died, and the CFA caught wind of this, and they contacted them, and they said, "Hey, we heard some of your birds died. Can we come show up at the farm and do some tests?" And the farm made their first major mistake, and they said, "Yes, absolutely. Come on down. We got nothing to hide. Come on down, do your test, do what you got to do." And of course, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency showed up in full hazmat suits. I remember reporting on that like way back when it first happened. And they conducted 2 PCR tests on 2 dead carcasses. And those of you who have been following my work over the years, especially over the COVID years, over the last 5 years, know that these PCR tests are completely bogus. They amplify signals to insane degrees, to the point where they can find anything they want. They can detect anything within there, and not to mention all the false positives that come from those tests as well. So sure enough, lo and behold, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency decided that, oh, look at this. They tested positive for avian influenza, right? And this is just absolute nonsense. So that then gave them the right to take this to court. Initial judges ruled in favor of the Canadian Food Inspection Agency and said, we better stop this from happening and spreading. Meanwhile, that was 9 or 10 months ago. So obviously, let me go back to the live stream of the birds. Obviously, as you see here, they've been running around completely healthy for the last 9 months. Now, unfortunately, critics like Christine are too it's focused on this virology issue that they can't see the bigger picture here, which is obviously the fact that this is an attack on small-time farmers. This is healthy birds that are about to be slaughtered. And, despite what you want to say about the science and the research that are going into these birds, that's another topic. We could have a whole nother show about that. But at this stage in the game, the culling had to be stopped. Like, the slaughtering of these healthy birds has to be stopped. And thankfully today we have the good news coming in that is exactly what has happened. Remarkably, at the final hour, like, I think the RCMP was literally just, hours away from doing this. I mean, they literally had the pen set up for where they were going to slaughter these birds. They had, lines and lines of police. They had, Katie, the daughter of the owner of the farm, sitting here issuing her own kind of, what would you call it? Like, order that because of this, Indian tribe, which claimed that this is their unceded territory, they're going to have to get permission from them to be able to go in. Let's listen to that really quickly, because this is just, as of this morning.
Been taken on under the signatory Indian tribe for protection. And so I just want, if you guys can please, this needs to go to the higher ups. And the ostriches and our land is now under the protection of the signatory tribe, Indian tribe. And we met with them last night. So this is a cease and desist from the signatory Indian tribe.
So they had a cease and desist order. I highly doubt that that's what caused the courts to decide to, grant this stay order, meaning none of this is going to be allowed to take place anytime soon. I believe they have. I don't know how exactly long they have. I think it's sometime in October. Last I read was they have until October 3rd. But I mean, the information's changing all the time. Let's tune in again to the live stream from the farm and see what they're saying
Loud
here.
and clear.
Oh yeah, no, they must know that we've got to stay. I mean, you got to think, right?
Yeah, so they have
I don't think
a
they can read that on the truck. Can anybody? I don't want to go down too low here.
drone footage, I guess,
Mind
that
you,
they're
there's no
operating
ostriches
right
here, so
now
this could probably get in a little
of
closer.
the actual
Coming down a little bit
situation.
here,
Like
folks.
here's the pen
See
here,
if we can see the
Not too much though.
name on the
and
truck.
you can see-
No, we're zoomed way in. We're
This
actually
is a live
55
stream.
meters in the sky right now.
everything's fine.
is,
The birds are there. The
but-
birds are healthy. The
Yeah, I don't
birds
wanna
are
go much
not
closer
being
than that, but
killed right now.
okay. Well, there you go. They're putting fencing up, and just so you all know, you know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna zoom up from the fencing so you
Apparently
can see
they're putting up
exactly where it is
some
in
fences
relation to
now.
everything else. Okay. So the pens. This is the pens here. Okay. There's the fencing that's going up,
I'm gonna share this stream
Maybe
while
we'll just
we're
come
watching
backwards
this.
here.
Guys. Bear with me.
so you can see where it is. And see, those are the hay bale thing that they put up. So it's another one outside of that one. Maybe they didn't get the memo. You know what? I mean, maybe I give.
Yeah, but those cops.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah,
that's right. Yeah. No,
They're
you're
gonna
right.
be like, why are they so happy?
Okay, well, there's the fencing, and it is outside the property, like outside the pens. And they're going across that one line of hay bales, like, you know, out by about 100 feet or something. Okay, I think I gotta come back, guys. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're coming back. Oh boy, well, you saw it here. We thought they were taking down fencing. They're actually putting fencing up. Don't really understand that, but you know what? I still feel confident in the fact that we gotta stay.
Yeah.
Buddy, here, you want to just watch over the farm here? Come in. Like, this is us going back over the pens, going back towards where the supporters are. Okay. And maybe we'll zoom out so you can see. Going towards the supporters here. Is there still the pens? I didn't hear.
Yeah, they are putting up fences.
They're putting up fencing. They're not taking it down. I didn't hear.
Drive on the road? Yes.
Yeah, go
Interesting
ahead.
that they're still putting up fencing, even though the stay order has been granted. But
Look at this, folks. All the supporters. You know, the supporters matter, man. They're the ones that actually helped this thing happen. Without the support, we never would have been able to do it. So there we are. You saw the thing. You know the thing. Look at us. Yay! Yeah, we'll just give you a little horizon view. Yeah. And here we go. We're landing. Okay, I'm gonna turn that off. And okay, take the camera away. I don't want to see where I'm actually landing. But folks, look at this. We're here, we're here, we're here. We're winning, we're winning, we're winning. Yay!
The way you two are working together, and they had you for the last 2 days.
So again, guys, if you are just tuning in right now, we have breaking news. It seems that at the final hour, before these birds were about to be called to Supreme Court, or at least the judge who was, dealing with this, who's going to send this to the Supreme Court, has agreed that a stay order will be granted, meaning these birds are not going to be killed today.
Yeah, I've never appreciated her fully as I should have.
You guys for years, you traveling around even before I met you in Castleman.
I just wanted to bring this to you live right now because they are live celebrating the good news.
Start the best family.
Oh my God, Freedom Family Unite. Freedom Family Unite. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we're going to cut the feed. We're going to go. I got people to talk to. I got things to do. I'm going to get more information on what's happening. I'm going to give you all the details as they come up. It's been a joy and a pleasure to serve you through the interwebs, and I couldn't think of a better group of people to be associating with, the ones that are going to make a difference by doing something, the ones that are going to show up and care enough about somebody else to do something. You are those people, and I couldn't be prouder, man. Keep on logging in, okay? Subscribe and like and do all those things. And also, Jeff Gaudry, make sure you subscribe to Jeff Gaudry on Facebook. Make sure you subscribe to Katie Pasitny on Facebook. Karen Greba Esperson on Facebook. Follow Church of Bubbles on all of the formats for my own content. And Universal Ostrich Farms on the group on Facebook, as well as YouTube. They have a channel as well, and I think they're everywhere else, okay? That's it. We, and him or her did it. Today, we did it.
We're going to charge our phone and update you as soon as we know anything new.
Yay, love you guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Amazing.
Oh.
So there you have it, guys. They have just been granted their stay order. It's official. The Universal Ostrich Farms Inc. Birds will not be called anytime soon. Again, this is good news for everybody who's been pressuring the RCMP, the CFIA. Again, if you're just tuning in, I'll remind you that this where is that? Right here. This is the official account of the Canadian Food Inspection Agency president, who has ended up locking his posts, protecting his posts, because, I think he was just getting absolutely inundated, hammered with people calling on him, to resign, to save these healthy birds. And he's got him in his profile there. You're dealing with somebody who's mentally ill when they've got, pronouns in their profile like that. But again, I think this probably comes down to the great deal of amount of pressure that is being put on everybody. Let me pull up one other interesting point that I saw earlier. Kyle Kemper, who is Justin Trudeau's brother, who I have interviewed a couple of times. If you're not familiar with that, just go back and use the search feature on my website, and you'll find that. But he was sharing earlier a letter from the health agency in the United States, Kennedy, who was calling for them to stop this. So he directly spoke to the CFIA. This looks like the moment that the call order, the stay order was granted. So let's check this out. This again just happened just as I was going live. It happened. So let's give this a quick watch.
When you lie your heads down at night, have that peace in your heart.
Oh, they got it! Yes! Oh, my Lord! They got this day!
Let's hear it. Be quiet. I'm giving you guys the details here. This has just come through literally seconds ago. Omar, that's from Omar, the lawyer. Tell us.
Omar called. He said he needs to return, but it could go for as far as up to October.
So in case you didn't hear that, their lawyer, Omar, gave her a call and said the judge has granted the stay order. You have until October. I didn't hear a specific date there, but let's continue.
Can you say that louder, Katie? Yes, he has to really read through the documents. Maybe we'll talk about the specifics about it soon. The matter of the fact is, we're all here to celebrate today.
No death! Yes!
Pretty remarkable. She's obviously overcome with emotion. This is their livelihood, their business of 35 years was potentially going to end today. She thought today was going to be the day, and it was going to be a sad, dark day in Canada had they have gone through with this. But maybe the amount of pressure that they've been getting online has led to this, or maybe they just got a good judge who actually has a heart and understands that this is absolutely wrong what they're doing to this family and to these healthy birds. But at any rate, the stay order has been granted. Thank God for that. You know, they're not going to be going through with this. Now, how much time that this has bought them, I'm not sure. Sometime until October. But let's finish this video here.
Stay granted from Supreme Court of Canada. Granted. It could, yes. It's our miracle. They live today. They live today. Yes.
So there you have it, guys. The birds are going to live to see another day. Again, this is the live stream right here. This is where you just saw everybody celebrating, but now this is a live shot of it. So let me go to some of your comments and questions, and we'll get to some of that. Let me just scroll back here and see what we have. We do have some new members of the channel. Thank you so much for joining. That is very, very greatly appreciated. You know, I have yet to see any of the monetization kind of actually come to me from YouTube. So there is a new link. If you want to do something similar to a super chat, you could buy me a coffee. It's a link, a new platform I just set up. Maybe somebody in the chat today could be my first one to buy me a coffee. That should be in the description below, hopefully, if I've set this stream up correctly. But I just kind of wanted to jump into it very, very quickly today because of the breaking news. All right, I've scrolled all the way to the top. First comment from Matthew says, first, kinda. Yeah, this is like my fourth attempt at the stream, but we finally got it going. Some good news for a change and a win for common sense, says Anthony. Yeah, absolutely. You would think it's common sense, but it took like the last like 9 months of pressure for, you know, and back and forth in the courts from, you know, judges ruling in favor of the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, and then, you know, overriding that ruling and issuing a stay order, and then the stay order, you know, being pulled again, and then now being granted again. And from what I can gather, it looks like this is going to go all the way to the Supreme Court of Canada now. Moonship says it's the corrupt RCMP. Yeah, in case you didn't know, there were trucking companies who backed out of this whole thing. They were like, no, we're not going to take part in, you know, removing these carcasses. Get your trucks from somewhere else. And then the Holiday Inn in this town, who was supposed to be housing all of these RCMP officers, refused to. They were like, nope, we don't want anything to do with this. And they essentially kicked the RCMP out of their hotels and said, no, we're not going to take part in helping you, you know, carry out this unjust, completely backwards order. So that was amazing. Susan Westfield asks, why do they want to kill them? Well, the reason why they wanted to kill the birds, Susan, is because 9 or 10 months ago, some of these birds got sick. And the Canadian Food Inspection Agency claims that they got sick with avian flu. They went there and they did 2 PCR tests on 2 dead carcasses and apparently got a positive test from that. Now, whether or not this avian flu thing even exists is a whole nother conversation we can have. But at any rate, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency obviously believes it does. And they said, this is why the entire herd has to be killed, because it poses a potential threat. Even though they're not meat birds, they're not meant for food or consumption, but they still said, and there's no proof that, you know, of avian jumping from a bird to a human. None of that has been, you know, proven. Yet they said the entire herd has to be killed just to be safe. Just to be safe so we don't have avian flu spreading. Even though, as you can see from the live stream here of the birds running around for the last 9 months, they're clearly very, very healthy. If there is such a thing as this, issue with the virus, well, then they've obviously gained herd immunity. But again, the topic of that I was discussed greatly in my documentary Universal Inc., A Deep Dive with Press for Truth. I'd suggest you go check that out. Is that far from where you live, Dan? Why aren't you down there? Yeah, it is pretty far. I was contemplating on heading out last night, but unfortunately, I have a current problem with one of my tires that needs to be replaced, and it probably a little on the unsafe side for me to take an 8-hour road trip last night. However, I did go there. Let me just show you once again. This is my deep dive. There I am, there at the farm, interviewing people who were there, interviewing all the people involved with pushing back against this. And then I interviewed Dr. Andrew Kaufman, virology expert, who gets into that. I interview Christine Massey. Again, she's one of the more vocal critics about some of the research that this farm has been engaging in. And then most importantly, I talked to Katie herself to kind of, challenge her on some of the things that these people are saying, but also to get it from the horse's mouth. So yeah, I have gone there, but the latest news was so breaking that I had to decide, should I take the chance of going there with a tire that might blow on me? I didn't think so. I really did contemplate that though, but yeah, I didn't think it was probably a safe or good idea for me to go until I actually get my tire fixed. But now that they have a stay order in place, they have at least until October. So I'm going to make sure that I am absolutely prepared and ready to go at, boom, the instant that I have to next time. Hopefully there isn't a next time. Hopefully the Supreme Court rules that, you know what, Canadian Food Inspection Agency, you're out of line here. It's clear that these birds are healthy. A lot of people are saying, why don't they let them do a test? Please don't forget, that's what got them into this mess in the first place. More tests to try to prove that they are healthy is not the route that we should be going. We just got to keep them out of it altogether. Say, no, this is private property. You have no authority or right to come on this property whatsoever. Just back off. And hopefully that's what's going to come of this. More tests is not what's needed. Respecting private property rights and the fact that they're showing little live streams of totally healthy birds for the last 9 months straight should be enough. But yeah, to answer your question, Lena, yeah, it's about an 8-hour drive for me, and it didn't really seem safe to just spontaneously go there for me right now. You're usually on scene. Yes, I am. I usually am on scene. I would have absolutely loved to have been there. Trust me, this is killing me that the timing is unfortunate for me to not have been able to just jump at it. But believe me, I was contemplating it. Okay. Pure evil, says Cat Scully. Yep, it really is, and I think this was going to really set a light bulb was going to go off in your average Canadian citizen who's watching this online going, what? Asking questions like the earlier person there, why are they going to kill these healthy birds? It's like, yeah, this should get you to question what your government is doing. It's absolutely insane. Yes, huge government overreach. Yes, never let the vampires in, says Kevin. Exactly. That's kind of where the property owners went wrong in the first place. They thought, it's like when the police say, I'm going to have to ask you for your ID. They use these kinds of wordings that make you think that you have to comply with their requests. It's not an order. It was a request. The CFIA literally called them up and made the request. Can we come onto your property to test these birds to see what's going on? Why some of them died? And unfortunately, the farm owners made the mistake of allowing these guys onto their property to conduct their tests. And sure enough, it led them to being able to try to kill all these birds. So let that be a lesson to every farmer out there. If you're being contacted by the Canadian Food Inspection Agency and they want to come, you got some backyard chickens even, and they're saying, oh, there might be a chance that your chickens are infected with avian flu, do not let them in. It is fully within your rights to reject their request. Never forget, and they may use language that's going to try to convince you that this is a lawful order. It's not. You fully have the right to refuse to let them come in and demand, hey, it's like, show me a warrant. Take it to a judge if you want to go that route, but I'm not going to voluntarily allow you onto my property so you can conduct your tests here to decide whether or not my birds are sick. So again, yeah, that was the first major mistake that the farm made. And hopefully, this can be an opportunity for other farm owners who are watching all this unfold to learn from this and to realize that, no, we can't engage with the government. They're thugs. They're enemy number one here. They're the ones we have to be wary of. So, yeah, good point. Vape King says, I believe the inventor of the test said that they shouldn't even be used for testing. That's right. I've pointed that out time and time over again on my channel, that that the creator of the test said that he did not design them to be used in the way that that the CDC has been using them all throughout COVID. Again, if you amplify these signals enough, you can find anything that you are looking for. So yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Thanks for giving this attention, says Rectitude Media. Everyone is also covering the insanity. Yeah, and maybe it is because of the large amount of pressure we've been kind of putting on the judges, the courts, the RCMP, the CFIA, and everybody involved, that maybe they finally caved to the pressure, or at least they found a judge who has a little bit of a heart and realized, like, this is not what we should be doing here. Aaron says, thanks for covering this important work. That was my question, says Kevin. Did the stay come down from the Supreme Court because of the case, because of the cease and desist, or was the stay coming separately? I really don't think that it is a result of the cease and desist, because that only happened like an hour earlier or something like that, that the RCMP was issued a cease and desist order from this tribe that claimed that this is all happening on unceded territory and you're going to have to get their permission in order to do this first. Because it was literally within like 20 minutes, half hour, maybe an hour at the tops, that the stay order was granted. So I really don't think it came as a result of the cease and desist order. But that's just another example of all the things that have been happening, incrementally building up towards this moment of a judge finally doing the right thing. This needs to go super viral, says Annette. I don't know why it isn't already. Yeah, it absolutely should be. It has been trending on Twitter for the last couple of days. Again, maybe that has to do, that's why, some people caved to the pressure. Like the president of the Canadian Food Inspection Agency had to block his own, had to close down his own Twitter account, I think, because he's being completely overrun with people saying he shouldn't be doing this. Rectitude Media says, much love, Dan. I'll try to send you some money again. I really appreciate what you do. Thank you so much for that. Really, really do appreciate that. Again, if you check the links in the description, if I set this up correctly, you should be able to find that Buy Me a Coffee link or my Give, Send, Go campaign. Or, of course, you could always go to pressfortruth.ca/donate. And there's multiple options: PayPal, cryptocurrencies, Patreon alternatives, Subscribestar. These are where you could sign up for monthly recurring contributions. E-transfers to dan@pressfortruth.ca. If you're Canadian, that's probably one of the easiest ways to contribute. There's no third party really taking a big percentage when you do it that way. It's pretty much a direct bank transfer from you to me. So e-transfers to dan@pressfortruth.ca are greatly appreciated as well. So thank you very much, Rectitude Media, for that. Really, really appreciate it. Let's see. Be careful of these YouTube shills, says Matt Bingen. Okay. I'd love to see your proof and evidence that that I am a shill. Who are my backers? Who exactly is controlling me? And what am I shilling? Very, very interesting comment. I hope they keep the security cameras up. Yeah, I think they will, because, again, this thing isn't over. Apparently, they have the stay order granted until October. But, I mean, that's coming up in like a week or a week and a half or whatever, not even. So, you know, this thing certainly isn't over. So hopefully they will keep that going. Sherry says, I'm proud of you all. Yeah, thank God that this was the decision today. I mean, things could have gone very, very differently, and it would have been a sad, dark day in Canada. But thank God it didn't go that way. Let's see. Again, I'm just kind of scrolling through, mostly looking for questions. Kevin says Dan is definitely not a shill. Thank you for your support, Kevin. Yeah, I've been at this since 2006. Believe it or not, this is my 19th year of doing Press for Truth. Pretty crazy. That's what you and Luke should have done, that Bilderberg. Then you should have demanded a straight answer about Vincent van Gogh and Mozart. Not sure what you're referring to there, choosy heretics. But, yeah, keep the comments and questions coming in, guys, and I will get back to them shortly. But honestly, I really just wanted to go live today to bring you the breaking news. Let's explore this together really quick. You know, if you go to Twitter, you go to trending, like the number 3 trend, as you see here, is ostriches. And here you have, you know, Daisy Media reporting on the breaking news. Supreme Court of Canada has granted a stay of the execution of the ostriches. A stay has been granted. They will live, at least for now. Again, this is video of the...
an Indian tribe.
As you can see here, the Indian tribe issuing a cease and desist order. Viva Frei has been all over this, which has been fantastic. You've had a lot of people like asking like this, why is Pierre Poilievre silent on the ostrich situation? Again, who cares? We have to stop looking to these politicians to solve these, you know, problems for us. You can't look to the government to solve the problems that were created by the government. And again, this guy is absolutely notorious for chiming in after the fact. You know, now that the stay order has been issued, he's probably going to be like, we did it, everybody. And it's like, yeah, no, you had absolutely nothing to do with this. Again, this is the live stream that we were watching earlier, and where the stay order was issued, and you can follow some of these accounts to get the latest. But earlier they had set up this pen, a whole bunch of hay barrels, and then late last night they were set on fire. Still, we don't know who caused that, but again, at this stage in the game, it doesn't really, you know, doesn't matter anymore, because a judge has ruled that this is not going to be happening, at least not today. So, again, just wanted to bring this breaking news to you guys. Let me see if you have any other comments or questions before we call it for the end of this stream. I'm just going to pull up a couple more things to see if we have any other things that are potentially breaking. And oh yeah, let me show you this too. Don't want you to forget to check out my my video, this is Universal Ostrich Inc., a deep dive with Press for Truth. Again, this is when I went to the farm, I interviewed the farm owners, I interviewed the protesters, I spoke with all the experts, and put it together into this massive hour-and-a-half long piece that I really hope you will check out. So yeah, maybe I'll put a link to that in the description when I'm done with this one. But yeah, there you have the latest, guys. Again, if you do want to contribute to my efforts to constantly bring you this information, don't forget to go here. This is the pressfortruth.ca/donate page. You can, again, send an e-transfer to Dan at Press for Truth. I do have a P.O. box as well. That's the address right there if you want to send me stuff. You know, I often have a lot of people contact me saying, Dan, I would love to support your efforts, but I don't do online banking. I don't do, you know, e-transfers. I don't do Bitcoin. I don't do anything like that. I'm a cash kind of person, and I love that. You know, I'm a cash kind of guy too. So if you want to just send a check made out to Dan Dicks, or you want to send cash, you can do that. I have a P.O. box. You can send stuff here. You can also send equipment, or you could simply send words of encouragement as well, guys. I get a lot of that. A lot of people often want to send me information as well. I get a lot of, you know, people's books in the mail. I get a lot of documents and just reports and documents people want me to see. So feel free to send me anything like that you want to send, guys. Again, this is it. P.O. Box 1521, Squamish BC V8B 0B1. And thank you to everybody who does contribute in that way. It's really appreciated. I do have this Give, Send, Go campaign as well. 56 people have contributed so far. Thank you so much to everybody who has contributed. Again, I can't do this work without you. I have no corporate overlords, nobody telling me what to do, nobody over my back telling me what I can and can't report on. It's just me. I'm a one-man show here. I do all the research, I do all the video editing, I do the posting, I do the marketing, I do the administrative tasks, I run the back-end stuff, like all the platforms I upload to and my website and stuff. So if you want to help me expand and you want to help me just to be able to continue doing what I do, this is a great way to go as well. So anyways, let me put it back on the live stream here. And I'll go back to see if we have any other questions or comments before I call it. But I just really wanted to go live today to bring you the live breaking news. A stay order has been granted, thank God. All these healthy birds are going to live to see another day. Somebody else in the chat, Canso1, is saying, yes, absolutely, exactly. Do not let these criminals onto your property ever. And I think that's the big takeaway here, guys, is that this whole thing can be tracked back to when Katie, unfortunately, was pressured by the Canadian Food Inspection Agency for them to show up on her private property and conduct these bogus PCR tests in the first place. That's where they, unfortunately went wrong. But like I said, a lot of the times these authority figures use this kind of language that makes people think that that they have to comply with this sort of stuff. And maybe I could find that part of the interview. Let's see really quickly.
Security at risk, losing our farmers because they don't want to keep repopulating. With all of their own theories and the livelihoods. We were not being properly or fairly given the different options within the policy. They right away jumped to the stamping out, and he got attacked himself. When you have livestock, you have dead stock. You treat them the best you can. You already quarantine them away from others because you don't want this to spread. Those PCR tests, anyways, they got ran at very high cycles. We'll just say over 35. So we were denied the testing on our other animals. They only took those 2. They left.
This seems around the
18 hours dead.
The point where she says
documents our business plan, everything that we had. Then
when
everybody was been good. Then December 2024, we had symptoms represented themselves just like those ones. Contacted our vet. And they it's kind of through the holidays, so we were just waiting to hear back. Then we received an anonymous tip that somebody said to Canadian Food Inspection Agency that we were sure we had avian influenza. At that time, we expressed to them and talked to them about how the symptoms that we had some that were sick but then recovering. We did have deaths. This is nothing hidden. We had at the very end of this, in total is 69 deaths. We expressed to them our whole story, told them everything that we were working on here about the antibodies and the research, offering a natural solution to the virus that had been going around.
There's another point that is what a lot of people who have the problems with what this farm is doing, and me as well, is the idea that they're perpetuating the government narrative that COVID and all these new variants that are constantly being used as a fear propaganda campaign is like as if it's something that we have to be concerned with, and that they can somehow through their research come up with a solution to this really non-existent problem. I mean, they switched out the flu for COVID over those years, and so obviously a lot of people have a problem with that. And I do kind of press her on that in this interview if you want to see the whole thing. I'll put a link in the description below.
They showed extreme interest in our work. On January 2nd, we got an email saying that we qualify for special rare genetics. January 2nd, we also had a 5.5-hour interview with Canadian Food Inspection Agency disclosing they wanted all of our research, all of our papers, all of our documents, our business plan, everything.
Again, this was just a request from the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. They didn't have to give them any of this information. They shouldn't have engaged with them at all. But I think we're getting to the point here where she says they asked to come onto the property to do a test, and I was like, yeah, no problem.
That we had. Then we gave all that to them. About the 5-hour mark, we said, are you just probing us for information and you're not interested in working with us, or you've decided to kill our animals? And they said, no, we are absolutely interested.
You can't trust them.
Your research here. So we found out through our legal, as we go speed forward, that they already signed our cull order December 31st. So it was kind of shocking to know that we asked them, did they already sign the cull order? They said no. When they came here to inspect, they asked us to have when we had 2 deceased animals. So when we had 2 deceased animals, they said, we'd like to test them. We said, absolutely no problem.
Boom. There you have it. There's the problem. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency asked them, can we come onto your property and test these birds? And she said, yes, absolutely no problem. That's where this whole thing went awry. That's when everything went downhill for these people. And I really hope this is a lesson learned from all you farmers out there who are watching this, that if you engage with the government in this way, you grant them their requests to come onto your private property and do their testing, and these are the bad guys. These are the ones who are going to try to use this next flu psyop to come after farmers. And what happens when it's, they do get the order to call these ostriches? And then what? Backyard chickens? And then what? Your pets? And then what? Us? Like, this is the precedent-setting stuff that we have to stop, and it starts with you not engaging with the government. It starts with you saying, no, I'm not going to allow you onto my private property. And unfortunately, that's the mistake that this farm made, as you saw right there.
Definitely didn't know it was going to be a controversial PCR test.
See? She didn't know that even what kind of tests they were going to use. And then they show up and they use the controversial PCR tests, and it's like, yeah, see, this is why you shouldn't have even let them on your property in the first place, unfortunately.
That was going to be ran on both deceased animals. Both of those deceased animals were there for about 16 to 18 hours, dead. They had been for quite a while. They did an oral and a rectal swab on both. At the time, we asked them, could we test all of our healthy animals, which was more than half of our farm.
Again, shouldn't be asking for more tests here because they're only going to end up using it against you. They already used this faulty, bogus PCR test, and to now try to claim that we need more tests to prove that they are healthy is really not the route that they should be going here. I would hope that they've already realized that. But at any rate, the judge has issued this stay order, so thankfully none of this is going to be happening anyways. But just wanted to update you on this.
More than half of our farm did not present any symptoms, and there was no deaths. This, and now along the legal journey, we found out this is because we tested their egg yolk, which we had stored from years ago, and their egg yolk came back positive for H5N1 antibodies. So kind of a little bit back and forth there, but that is a very important part of the story. So they had herd immunity. They had immunity to this. All of the ostriches that were on our farm after 2000 are the ones who were going through gaining their immunity.
Again, so this is like going back 9 or 10 months now. She's saying the entire flock had herd immunity, which in their view is why they should not be killed. And obviously, if they are fully healthy birds, which they clearly are and were, there's no reason for the government to be killing them other than to set a precedent here moving forward for the next flu psyop that may be coming down the pike. I mean, if you think we're in the clear when it comes to COVID-19 84, you're sadly mistaken. I mean, they didn't go through that massive psychological operation to just leave it at that. They're getting ready for something else, and all this kind of stuff kind of does condition the masses for continuing to believe that they need to be, fearing such a thing when really they don't. So that's something I've been talking about a lot, and I do get into in this documentary with some of these people, some of the people who have been looking into that, heck of a lot more than I have, like Dr. Andrew Kaufman, for example, and Christine Massey has been looking into it for many years as well. So guys, again, this is an hour and a half long piece that I'd strongly recommend you go check it out, because a lot of information contained in there if you're just kind of new to the situation. So let me just see if we have any other comments or questions, and I may call it for today. I really just wanted to bring you the breaking news today. Thankfully, a judge has issued a stay order. These birds will not be dying today. They've been granted a little bit more time. That doesn't mean this is over. This fight is really just continuing because they've had stay orders issued and then back and forth with the courts. Everybody thought it was going to happen today, and then at the final hour, at the last minute, a judge has issued this stay order, and it appears that it's going to be going all the way to the Supreme Court, which is pretty remarkable. And maybe there is a chance that that's where it will all end. The Supreme Court will rule in favor of the farm. It'll be a huge win for everybody who's been, pressuring the government to not go through with the requests of the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. And again, this should be a huge wake-up call to not only farmers, but everybody who has been watching this, that you cannot trust the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. I mean, they had their own people here at the farm within feet of the birds, like in their normal clothing. Obviously, they're not actually afraid of catching any kind of a virus. It's all just theater. They just wanted to call these birds to set that precedent moving forward. And thankfully, a judge, I guess, is seeing through that and said, nope, not today, guys, not today. So, again, just wanted to bring you some of the good news, guys. Once again, guys, if you do appreciate my efforts to do so, don't forget to check me out here, pressfortruth.ca/donate. Hopefully I got those links in the description below, or you could just go to pressfortruth.ca/donate, or you can go to givesendgo.com/save pressfortruth. Again, 56 people have contributed so far. Thank you so much to all of you guys. Maybe we could get that up to 60 or so today. I don't know how many people we have currently on the live stream. But maybe you can click that thumbs up button and continue to share this one. But get the news out there, guys. We've had a victory today, a small victory, in the fact that some time has been bought. They have until October. They get to take it to the Supreme Court of Canada, and these ostriches are living to see some more days. So again, thank God for that. So just wanted to bring that to your attention, guys. I will one last time see if we have any other comments or questions before I call it. But really just wanted to go live because obviously I wish I could have been there. But as I said, honestly, it wasn't really safe for me to do so because I probably would have blown out a tire trying to drive 130 kilometers to get to this place in time before they killed these birds. So I didn't think it was safe for me to do so. But rest assured, next time this situation pops up, which I'm sure it will again, I will do everything in my power to be there. And yeah, again, if you want to support my efforts to do stuff like that, pressfortruth.ca/donate is the best place to go. All right. I think I don't see any other questions in the chat, so I'm going to call it for today. Again, I want to thank you so much for tuning in, everybody who's been sharing the stream. I tried to go live 2 or 3 times earlier, and apparently it was going live, and I didn't even know it, but I saw some comments popping in saying, no, it is working, so then I went live with this one, so it all worked out in the end. So thank you to everybody who's been supporting me over the years and sharing my work. Again, if you don't have it within your means to financially contribute, one of the best ways is just share the videos. And help me with the shadow banning that I'm dealing with on all these various platforms, making it nearly impossible for me to get this stuff out there. But with your help, we can continue doing what we've been doing here at Press for Truth for 19 years now. So again, thank you so much for everybody who has tuned in, everybody who shared the stream. Susan says, God bless you, Dan, and chat. God bless you all. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Chalk one up for the good guys. We've got the stay order. The birds are going to live to see another day, and I will keep you updated as the story continues to develop. But that's all for today, guys. Again, thank you so much. Don't forget to click the thumbs up button. Make sure you share this video, and stay tuned, guys. I will have more video reports coming very soon, God willing. This is Dan Dicks reporting for Press for Truth. See ya.